Inside the Barriers, brought to you by Bet Deluxe. Serious betting for serious punters.
Hello and welcome to Inside the Barriers, brought to you by Bet Deluxe. A super weekend of racing coming up. Group 1 action at Caulfield, highlighted by the Caulfield Guineas, the Caulfield Stakes and the handicap, Toorak handicap. And up there in Sydney, it's a beauty, the Spring Champion. And it is a beauty too, because today we welcome a special guest, Michael Walker, and of course, my man over here, the Wizard of Odds, Paul.
BM, Cuz, how are we? Nice to have you in the studio.
Good, Cuz. I'm really well, and I'm looking forward to being part of this, and hopefully we can give you guys some winners.
Well, we're looking forward to the insight from you, Michael. You won the Caulfield Guineas about 3 or 4 years ago on a despised outsider called Mighty Boss at 100 to 1. Can you tell us whether it can happen again without you being on their back?
I reckon it can. There's a roughie I do like in the race, and I think from a soft draw, but obviously we'll get to that when we run through the races. Beautiful.
Hey, what about this pick 3 for the Guineas?
Huge punters pick, BM. It's jackpotted again. The punters just can't pick this trifecta, so we're going to go up to $500 Dan Murphy's gift voucher if you pick the trifecta in the Caulfield Guineas, BM. So a massive one for the punters this weekend, and thanks to all those punters who left the comments in the Facebook section as well. T's and C's apply to that offer. But trifecta on the Caulfield Guineas, $500 Dan Murphy gift voucher on offer if you can pick it.
Beauty. OK, let's get out of business, Cuz. Ollie's on Animo, number 1 in the race book. The horse has drawn 15 at the mile in the Caulfield Guineas. A little fun fact on Ollie. The last time he won the Guineas, he's only won it once in 1990. It was his second Group 1 win. He's ridden more than 100 now. There was that great battle with Testarossa and Reduced Choice that year. But it's a race, you know, he's won so many of the great races multiple times. What does he do from barrier 15?
I think Damien Oliver, he's got the nickname The GOAT, and that's not for nothing. He's very, very good. And for me, I look through the race and I don't see abundance of speed, and riders have got to be mindful that you don't want to be using your horse up the hill at the 1400 metre hill there. So I don't reckon there'll be a whole lot of speed in it. So I think he might chance his armour and give him a little squeeze early and try and put him about 6th, 7th in the race. But like I say, he is the GOAT. He'll do his own thing.
Can he sit 3 wide with cover midfield and still win?
I don't think so.
Really?
The horse is good enough, and James Cummings is such an amazing trainer, and he always has them ready to rumble on the big stage and, you know, when it's their grand final. So probably could, but for me, I just like a few horses that are drawn down low.
One of them's Artorias. Now, what's the market doing with these two?
Yeah, so I think they're going to start equal favourites, BM, to be honest. Animo's a $2.80 favourite, but he's drifted since the market's open and since that barrier draw. He's been $2.50 out to $2.80 at the moment. Artorias at $3.80, and it's basically double figures the rest. Look, Lightsaber at $13, but there was this one roughie that we were talking about just before we come on air. Giannis.
Yes, I just think from a soft gate, Chris Waller I talk about trainers having them prepared and ready to fire at their grand final. It is for this horse, and he's got the exact same preparation as Autumn Sun leading into the race. So Chris Waller, the same program as Autumn Sun. I think, for me, he's a horse I like in the race.
Press Statement's another one of Chris's. You know, they hone in on this race because it's such a stallion-making race.
He's got such a good record in the race, Chris Waller. He always targets the race for his stallions.
Yeah. So why Giannis, number 7? Why? What about last start?
Just put a line through it. Don't worry about that. The horse still went well. But just forget about that. Soft barrier, Brett Preble who's riding out of his skin at the moment. He's any Route 1 that's going around at the moment is either on the favourite, the second favourite. Well, he's riding the good horse from Brisbane now, and it's generally the favourite in every single race it's in. But his rebuild of his career, the rebuilding of his career of late is just phenomenal, and it's so amazing for someone been on the other side of the fence now to watch and see who, you know, Brett's a good mate, and when he's got his mind on the job, he gets it done.
Yeah, anywhere in the world too.
Agree.
Terrific career in Hong Kong, and back before your time as an apprentice, a star here, Melbourne Cup winner on Green Moon. Tell me this, it's a different landscape because of the COVID situation. We're missing the Kay McAvoys, the Huey Bowmans, and of course, you know, one of the best in the land in James McDonald. They can't get here, but there are other races that are running up against our Spring Carnival, the way the cards fall. What does it do for the Victorian riders? Now, you're sitting on the media fence. What do you see?
For me, you asked about the Sydney boys coming down. For me, really, who cares? You've got the boys that are at the 5th, 6th, 7th tier jockeys in the pecking order here in Melbourne, and they're doing the job. They're just proving that on the big stage that they can do it, and it's so amazing to see. And guys like Daniel Moore, since he's come back from Singapore, I'm sitting, even when I was riding, just seeing how he articulates things now to his owners, the post-race things that he gives to the owners, that you know, obviously with the trainers, they video now.
Spot on.
I walk past and I just, not being nosy, but I can hear him, the way he's talking. It's just amazing. It's good to see. And look what he's doing on the track now. And even the likes of Dean Holland got the ride on Charlie Rose on the weekend. It was the best losing ride I've seen.
They've all gone a notch
Brilliant.
up, haven't they?
Brilliant, yeah. You get the opportunity, you've got to take it as well. And I think you said with Moore, I think it's good insight for punters as well. You know, that they've got more intelligence now and they can bet with, you know, the knowledge that jockeys are giving them, you know, sort of information about the horse after the race and prior to the race too.
Now, what about the Turek handicap? Great handicap race. Finally, I'm Thunderstruck has got a gate.
He does. His run in the Sir Rupert Clarke was one of the biggest runs you've seen in a Group 1. Should have won. Yeah, too far back. He got buffeted on the corner as well. And he's going to be down in the weights too. He's a $2.80 favourite, barrier 4. He'll settle much closer to the speed.
With the lightweight in that race, you know, I'm sitting on the other side of the fence and I'm being critical, but he should have asked the horse a little bit out the barriers instead of just flopping over its neck, going back to last, giving it no hope. The horse
You don't
still
do that
should
in a
have
Group
won.
1 race. You
Not
can't
in a
give
Group
us-
1, especially when you're down in the weights, BM. You know what it's like. When you've got no weight on your back, you can chance your armour a little bit early, and he should have done that. He probably would have ended up 3 wide with cover behind Sierra Sue, who ended up winning the race. And as we all know, shouldn't have won it if Thunderstruck didn't get skew-whiffed on the corner. But I just think from the barrier this weekend, down in the weights, I think he's very hard to beat.
Across the board, are we?
Yeah, I think I'm Thunderstruck for me. He's actually going to be my best of the weekend. I can't see anything. If with even luck, I think he wins it by a length or two, to be honest. He's a $2.80 favourite. Look, Elephant at $5.50, Dice Roll, Tofane $9 at $9.50. But I think I'm Thunderstruck's going to start a heavily back favourite.
What about it this weekend in that race on the 2-rack? I'm a Thunderstruck's from New Zealand and Elephant's from New Zealand. I'm a Thunderstruck now is with an Aussie trainer because they bought it, but 2 Kiwi horses going for it.
We're going to get a lot of this. I was hoping we could dodge it. I thought we were in trouble.
I just had to put it out there. I had to put it out there. Let you know.
Before we came on air, he's doing a harker out here too, so I knew we were in trouble.
The 2 favourites are Kiwi horses. Come on.
Let's go across to the Caulfield Stakes. Now, you rode Criterion a few years back, 2015. And he'd come off a campaign, and a fairly successful campaign in Europe. You weren't a part of that, but you were glued to that horse in 2016 when it ran second in the Cox Plate to the Great One Winks, who won the Caulfield Stakes in 2016. How was it you were $7.50 in the Caulfield Stakes in 2015?
I don't know, to be honest. I thought he could win. I actually rang Sir Owen Glenn when the draws came out, so we knew the full field. And I rang him and I said, because I was obviously his rider then, and I said, boss, I reckon we can win the race on the weekend. And Sir Owen always liked me to go forward on him, and I said, I can't do it in this race. I'm drawn back, I'm going to have to go back. There'll be a little bit of speed in it. And I said, if I do that and get on the back of the right horse, we'll win. We did. And, you know, I was very thankful to Sir Owen for giving me that opportunity to not only ride him, but ride all his horses for a number of years afterwards.
And the 2016, as I mentioned, the great mare won the Caulfield Stakes Winks. She went to the Cox Plate, it started the run. You ran second on Criterion and you had the audacity to protest against the best.
It's a race. It's a Cox Plate. Of course I'm going to protest.
Well, the stewards threw him straight out and said, how dare you?
Yeah. But
were there grounds?
Oh, 100%. And I still don't know to this day how he never got suspended. So I'm back in the fence inside her. Following her, he was on the fence. He came off. I went up inside her. Within 2 strides, he went back to the fence and checked me. I lost about 3 or 4 lengths, and I came back and ran second. I think I ran her down to 2 lengths. Yeah. And I still think she's a champion. I may not have beaten her, but I think it was warranted with what happened in the race. You know, in the rules of racing, every horse is entitled to a fair run to the line. I wasn't on that occasion, so it was a race that I'm still very thankful for running second in and behind a champion. But then I rode him in the Melbourne Cup against Prince of Penzance.
2015, yeah.
Ran third, and I still swear to this day I should have won the race. I got held up, I couldn't get a run, and it would have been a record-making race if he had won that year because he had 57 kilos on his back.
Yeah, correct.
I don't think there'll be any protests against Zaki this
What
weekend,
odds?
just quietly.
Be a training gallop.
$1.28 if you're happy to
Just
happy
canters
to
around.
take it. But what do you do in these small fields? Like, you know, sometimes, I mean, tactics are obviously key in every race, but what does Cragos do from the barrier? I mean, he's got barrier 4.
Yeah, but he's a very versatile horse. I had him the other day at Sandown leading, but then the horse of Tom Davening's threw a spanner in the works and led, which
50 stars?
50 stars, which is usually back. He's usually back last.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happening there, but he ended up running a furlong last. So that race there was a training gallop, more or less. He just went around. I don't think Craig ever pulled the Persuader once. And I think it's going to be the same this weekend. One thing I'm looking forward to see, though, is he's going to the Cox Plate, and it's very tight, as we all know. You look at him at Sandown the other day, he never really got on the right leg.
No,
and even post-race, Craig Williams said he's still got a bit to learn. But I forgive the horse because I haven't got my stats here, but I can't remember the last time he ever raced Melbourne Way. He has before overseas, but the last time I'm not sure. It might have been years ago, so I can forgive him. But I need to see him this time at Caulfield get around the track better.
I reckon he will, and he'll have plenty of practice. So they'll get him there. They'll get him there before Breakfast with the Stars and whatever. And Craig, being the foreman that he is, and the trainer, like
True professional.
Perfect combination. They'll leave no stone unturned. And it's interesting at that Strathare track, having seen it from day one, horses that used to come from other parts get on the wrong leg around Moonee Valley and wobble around the corner. Once you've got those bank turns and that forgiving ground, it's a different ball game. I don't think you'll have any trouble.
Yeah, I don't think he had any trouble. What I'm saying, though, is at Sandown post-race, Craig Williams saying he was okay around there.
Yeah.
But going forward to a Cox Plate, I know people have probably got him in their multis and so forth and want to back him and probably have already backed him in it. But he needs to get around Caulfield again, better than he did Sandown because it's tighter again. But then he's got to go to the Cox Plate, which is even tighter again. So I'm going to be really mindful, and I think everyone who's backed him in the Cox Plate needs to keep in mind and look at that.
They'll leave something in the tank on Saturday. Like, he should be able to get the job done and then off to the...
Yeah, I think maybe the bet you could have there is probably Probabeel, maybe to place at $1.80 even money. She's a $6 elect at the moment. Homesman at $10, but Zaki $1.28. But you have a little interest up in Sydney, don't you, this week?
Yeah, let's look at the Spring Champion is the Group 1. It's an interesting race because Gay is going to back up Never Been Kissed, who won the Flight Stakes. But the fillies have got a good record in the race. Montefilia won it last year. A couple of years back, we had Yankee Rose. I think 3 of the last 5 have been won by fillies. So don't dismiss the fillies against the boys. But gee, there's a very good horse here called Head of State. He won the Gloaming. The Gloaming record for horses winning the Gloaming and winning the Spring Champion is phenomenal.
Yeah. And the markets, markets firming with that.
What do they got?
Well, Profondo $3.10 and Head of State at $4.60, but Never Been Kissed at $4.80. Could be that Gay up in distance. Those front runners as well. They're just so hard to run down. And her stable. The Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott stable, they're airborne at the moment.
Well, look at it in the Congo, just kept going. In the Golden Rose, has it got a spot in the Everest?
I think it may. Yeah. I think it may. It could be one that could go back in distance and just run them ragged. But she's never been kissed here at $4.80. But I think Profondo, he's the one to be with. I think as he gets up in distance by Deep Impact, and he lugged in a little bit last start as well.
He died back to the fence card. So what was that about?
I think it's just a horse that he's still learning his craft. But I thought the other day if he did everything right, he would have won. And I just think from where he's drawn, he can stroll forward at his own time. For me, I think he's a horse to beat. But if you're looking for a roughie, I like French Emperor. Blinkers off, pulled hard the other day, upping trip, blinkers off. His earlier form was really good around those good horses, the favourites. But he's got to think, what are you going to do from that barrier? With the blinkers off, you don't want him to pull. I think if they ride him quiet, don't be surprised if he's the horse flashing late. But if anyone's back never been kissed, I actually spoke to Regan Bayliss on my way in today, and he's very confident. I suppose everyone's confident when you've ridden 2 Group 1s on the same day, but he's very confident. He said to me, the only worry is if she backs up.
Yeah,
he said she'll get the trip, she's got a good fight, she's got good lungs on her, got good action, and he'll ask her to roll forward from that barrier. And he said she's got the best attitude, she settles, she cruises along, and he's honestly said to me, he thinks she can win again as long as she settles.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as she backs up.
Yeah. That's the thing with the younger horses as well, the juvenile horses, if they're able to back up. And, you know, as you said, the fillies, they've got a good record in the race. But this David Payne, this roughie here, this French Emperor at $26 could be the one. David Payne's got a knack of getting these sort of horses up in distance and getting them to run well. So it could be the one flashing home late, but Profondo for me, BM. And absolute best of the day, I'm thunderstruck.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm head of state. I think just that turn of foot from the home turn to when he put the race away, out of there, I reckon he'll win the Derby in Melbourne. I reckon he'll win the Spring Champion, head of state, and come down and win the VRC Derby. My syndicate's got a little share in a horse called Unrivaled. He was going to run in a benchmark 64 at Sale on Wednesday over 2,200. We got a late call to say the race was going to fall away up there in Sydney. Don't know about that. and Nash will ride the horse.
He's a nice horse,
Lovely
though.
horse.
When he won first up,
Yeah,
it was really impressive. They took the blinkers off.
Yep.
I noticed the other day, BM, he travels quite keen.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking from that barrier, he's going to have to let him just ride a little
him
bit.
roll, yeah.
Let him roll a bit. He's a
And he got polexed on the bend.
tough Kiwi stayer.
Yeah.
Let him roll, let him do his thing, get him into his rhythm, get his breathing right, rather than a stop-start affair. I don't think that would suit him, but if he let him roll along, I think it'd be right.
Yeah, good point. I reckon, look, if he ran in the top 5, we'd be over the moon. But the long-term plan is if he could get to the Derby, it might be a bit new, a bit early. He's only had 2 starts. But to get back to Sydney, maybe in the autumn.
Yeah, $26 chance at the moment.
Yeah, it's about he's right.
But Nash is on and Nash is riding in good form. So,
I fear the top 2 and the filly.
absolutely.
What do our punters get if they back I'm Thunderstruck into Zaki all up?
That could be.
Yeah, I got $3.93. Yeah.
About $3. Yeah, that could be the double of the day.
Better than bank interest.
There you go.
Have a go.
All right, now for the pick.
Yes.
Competition.
Punters pick again this weekend. $500 Dan Murphy's gift voucher on offer if you can pick the trifecta in the Caulfield Guineas. So mine's going to be Animo, Artorius and Yanis. I think are going to be the top 3 BM. And don't forget as well, tipstopbetdeluxe.com.au. Best of the weekend for you?
I'm with head of state
Yep.
in the Spring Champion. My 1, 2, 3 would be Animo. The horse of Besutton Young's, Forgot You?
Forgot You? Yeah, $16 at the
Don't forget him. Don't forget him.
Yeah.
My 3 are Giannis, Animo and Forgot You. I've actually left the Friedman horse out of it because I don't think the draw suits.
No.
If he had a draw in where Animo is, I would have put him in my 3. But because he's drawn there, I think
colty?
He's a colty. He's a bit of a thinking horse.
Yeah.
I think he needs to draw wide, but now he's drawn down low. For me, I think he's going to get cluttered up because, as we all know, he doesn't jump that flash. He misses away. So he's going to be back in the ruck where I don't think he'll like it.
Fantastic to have on board. It really is.
Good to be here. And obviously, this is the time we all look for throughout the year is Spring Carnival.
massive.
So wish everyone luck. Hope you all back a few winners and hope we put you onto something this weekend anyway.
Exactly right. And again, don't forget the punters pick this weekend. Tipstopbetdeluxe.com.au. Log into your Bet Deluxe accounts to check out all the special and hopefully, as Kazi said, we can guide you into a few winners this weekend, BM.
Yeah, here's our little package for the spring. God bless him. Good to have you with us, Michael. Michael Walker there. Of course, that's Inside the Barriers for Bet Deluxe. Serious betting for serious punters. Gamble responsibly.
Inside the Barriers. Brought to you by Bet Deluxe. Serious betting for serious punters.